Mr. Biller, I know that you had survived the Holocaust, the Shaya, and
5 years and 8 months.
and you remained a frum person. So,
Siyata Shmaya.
so I wanted to ask you, how were you able to? Because so many people went through the war. We're not judging anybody. So many people went through the war and they lost their emunah and they lost their. So how were you able to keep the emunah?
Well, after I was liberated, I was out of religion completely. Completely. I didn't want to know of it. I didn't want to hear about it. But a pure miracle, when I was in the hospital there after liberation, I wound up in the hospital where 2 rooms away from me was the Chasdic Rebba also there. I didn't know he comes from Romania, I come from Poland. So I didn't know who he was, and I was free. But after I got well, I went out from the hospital, I went to Kemperfeld, I think, and I was put there with the Hungarian boys. The Hungarian boys were just away a few months. And from there I went to Fehrenwald in the DP camp. I was put in a bunk up with all the Hungarian boys. And they were all from. I was not. I ate treifas, I had everything. One day what transpired, that while I was eating a treifas sandwich, a bunch of Hungarian boys surrounded me, and they would let me go. They was screaming, it says, throw away the sandwich, throw away the sandwich. I says, I'm not going to do it. Get away from me. I don't want to be religious. I don't want to hear about religion anymore. But what happened is, they grabbed me, and that time the Chasdic Rebba was already there in the camp, and he was in a building there where he made a Shtikli yeshiva, and they schlepped me up there to the Rebbe. And the Rebbe took me, and he spoke to me, and he asked me I should stay with them. I should start thinking what I'm doing. And he gave 2 bochum to teach me, to stay with me constantly. One of them, Rabbi Lipe Magulis from Torah Tamim, and the other one, I don't remember his name. And they stood me with a while, and they watched over me in the camp there, until at the time came, the Chasdic opened their yeshiva. They took me to yeshiva, I learned in yeshiva, and slowly, little by little, I was coming back. Then I wound up in the camp Fehrenwald, which was a DP camp, and I was put with the Hungarian boys, and they put a lot of watch over me, and they watched me, and they put a lot of pressure on me, and they kept bringing me up to the Rebbe Zechoyne Bucher. He was talking to me. So I wound up in the yeshiva. Of course, when I was in the yeshiva, they put two Bucherim to learn with me. One was Rabbi Lipe Margulis from Poyet Mimos Choyne Bucher.
Which yeshiva?
They had a yeshiva.
They
had the yeshiva
in
there.
The DP camp.
In the DP camp, they had a yeshiva there, yeah. And then I went to the United States. I was studying the yeshiva. I went with the Chasdic yeshiva. I wound up in the yeshiva. And then slowly, I learned in the yeshiva. I remained. That's how they put me a lot of, they learned with me and made me change my way of life.
You were zeicha to have a connection with the.
Well, this was pure incident because not him. I don't know what would have been making me today.
You were zeicha.
Yeah.
So if somebody says to you now, there couldn't have been a God with the Holocaust, what would you answer them?
What?
If somebody would say to you now, I can't believe in a God after the Holocaust,
I would not blame him. I would not blame him because I was the same way.
But what would be the answer now that what you would say?
Our piece of bread was everything. The hunger was so great. Well, you didn't think nothing else. You just have to get the piece of bread. I mean, after all, I was brought up and everything. Nothing interested me, just how to find a peace. But it's not on me, everybody else. The hunger was so great that nothing mattered, anything, except if she's a bird. No religion, no nothing, no. Absolutely nothing. I was a few miracles. I was lucky. I went up with the boys and they brought me to the Rebbe, and the Rebbe put a lot of pressure on me and put me with the right boys to learn with me and so on and so forth. And this way I remained.
Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. And you've
And
seen
I want you
Dairas.
to know,
Yeah.
if you find a Holocaust survivor that is not from, don't blame him. Because we went through, hell is not the word for it. Unbelievable. The separating from the mishpuchas, sending away to camps, surviving the camps, then the concentration camps, then the death march, then the death transport. It's not a day or two, it was 5 years and 8 months. I went through it. Hungarian boys only went through about 4-6 months, that's all. I went through 5 years and 8 months.
Okay,
I
Baruch
lived
Hashem.
through hell. I saw Yamach Shemor, Gering, Gable, Hess, Yamach Shemor. They came in, I think it was 1941 one day, and this time they came in with an open jeep. They passed by the street, because I lived on the street that took us to the concentration camp. Was bars there before for the military. I saw them passing by, and I think this was the time when they decided to make Auschwitz what it was. However, this street where they make the Auschwitz, the camp, was a forced labor camp. This was not it. As you come up from the bridge in Auschwitz, in the town, and go straight to the barn, to the railroad tracks. There was the railroad track, a lot of railroad tracks. Over there, they made it. And I think the reason why they made this, because there were a lot of rail tracks there, and the reason why they decided to make the entire area there the camp of destruction.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing that with us.